Afternoon, guys. I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters in the Pathfinder School. What I thought I'd do is I had pulled all of my traps earlier in the season because I had to go to Texas. And I just put in a few mink traps in a portable pocket setup that I'm trying out now. And I've got another beaver trap down the way here a little ways too, where I've been trying to get some beaver out of an area of my property back here. So what I thought I would do is, the beaver have pretty much been trapped. I think that we're back here causing a problem. I left one 330 on a duck under out there, and I'll check it every day. I've got 6 of those portable pockets out for mink in a stretch of maybe 100 yards. Mink are a waiting game. You know, they come when they come. You can have, you know, it's a numbers and a waiting game with mink. It just is. It takes a long time sometimes, unless you got lots and lots and lots of traps out. Last year it took me almost a month to catch my first mink. But I wanted to try this portable pocket system out, so I've got some mink traps set up for that. What I thought I'd do is, I've got 4 or 5 areas between here and my house on the other side of my property up here where I had coyote sets, where I had canine sets set up, and I caught a bobcat in one not too far from here and a fox in this one, and we let the fox go. I shot a video on that. So now I'm digging the trap bed back up. The earth anchor's still here. I'm going to put a few canine sets back in and bait them with beaver meat, because now we're later in that year where the animals are looking for food. It's getting colder. It's not snowing here in Ohio yet, and it's not getting deadly cold like it normally does this time of year. Or I say deadly cold, below freezing cold. It's been below freezing a few times, but at night right now it's only getting down around the freezing mark or a little bit higher. So I thought I'd put these canine sets back in, at least 4 or 5 of them in this general area. So I'm digging this up, and I wanted to show you how I set a canine set, because it's really not that complicated. Stay with me. Okay, so this is the area where I had the trap set that caught the fox, and I just dug down in there till I found this discolored dirt that I use so I could find where my earth anchor was, and it's sitting right there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this Minnesota brand 450, and a lot of guys use 550s for coyote. I use 450s because they're a little bit smaller trap, and if you do catch a bobcat, or a fox, we have to let the bobcat go in Ohio. I generally don't keep red fox if I catch them in this area because we don't have very many of them, so I try to let them go. This trap is fairly small. It doesn't seem to be as hard on the animals as the bigger traps do, in my opinion. But I catch plenty of coyotes in these, so I'm not worried about having a bigger surface area. I'll get him to put his foot where I want it, and I've never had a problem with a trap like this holding a coyote. So we'll get this dog out of our way here. Get this trap squeezed down. The thing about these traps here is they got a really good night latch system on them that works really, really well. They come out of the box ready to use, and I really like them. I use a quick connect, screw-on quick connect to an earth anchor. Makes it real, real simple to set my traps up, okay? So now that's ready to go. I'm gonna throw some loose dirt back in here to bed my trap into. I just dug out a big enough area to put this trap in and to get my dirt hole back in. And right here is where my dirt hole was before. I can tell by how soft the dirt is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and shove right back down into that dirt hole, clean that out. And you can see it's a little bit moist in there even. So I'll probably have to put my plug back in there to get that dirt out of there, which is this. Shove it back down in there a little ways. Hopefully scoop that dirt out of there, just like that. Get that off to the side and out of our way. And then we're gonna have everything set back up again. So I'm gonna bring you over here so you can kind of see the front of this set. So I've got my dirt hole right there, all right? And I'm just getting rid of that mud. Now, I'm gonna offset this trap just a little bit from the hole. So I'm gonna come in right in here. Go ahead and drop this down to level. There's a night latch on there. You can feel it and hear it click, which means that trap pan is level and good to go. I'm gonna sneak this in about 3 or 4 inches back and off to one side. And I'm going to take some of this dirt and put it on this side just to kind of deter that animal from coming in from this side, because I really want him to come in and approach from this side to put his foot in his trap. I knocked a little bit of dirt back in my dirt hole there. Now, normally I would bait this with just some sheep's wool and some kind of a lure. I'm actually going to put some beaver meat down in that hole this time. So let me get some beaver meat cut off. We'll shove it in the hole. Meat baits have to be covered in Ohio, so I'm going to shove it all the way down in that hole. And then I'm going to come in and finish bedding this trap and get it ready to go. Now I've got some straight up beaver meat right here that I ground up. And it's starting to go what they call taint or rotten now. And I'm going to shove that down in the hole. I'm not going to be stingy with it, because I got plenty of beaver. I'm going to shove it all the way down inside there, so he's got to dig if he wants to get it out of there. Just like that. I actually threw my stick a little closer to the trap than I wanted to. So I'm going to go grab that thing real fast. I'd like to get it further away from my trap in the end. Right now I'm going to save it, because what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take a little bit of this castor that I ground up, and this is going to act as my attractant. And I'm just going to smear some on a stick and just kind of lay it right here on top of the set, just like that. Okay. Now, what I generally do is I use something to cover my pan to keep any dirt from getting underneath it. You want that thing bedded solid. If that trap will move, the animal's gonna walk away from it or dig it up as soon as he feels it moving. So I use these latex pan covers on my traps, and they're just a piece of latex. It's 4 inches by 4 inches. Sometimes they're kind of a pain to get apart, but they don't make any noise, which is what I like about them. They conform real well to the trap, and they make things simple, and I like simple. I'm a big fan of easy. So we're going to lift this jaw up, this weak jaw, and drop this in, run it right up here under the springs, just like that, and drop the jaw back down on top of it. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take some just peat moss type dirt here that I've got. And I'm not really wearing gloves here because I'm afraid of the human scent. That part doesn't really bother me any, to tell you the truth. I'm wearing gloves more because it's a little bit chilly out than anything else. Now, once I get this kind of done, what I want to do is I want to kind of find my pan, figure out where that's at. And it's right there, okay? So now I'm going to blend everything in a little bit, just like this, knowing where my pan's at. And I'm going to put the last, just a little bit of dirt over that pan, just to cover it. A little bit of chafe there. And then I'll probably take a couple leaves. Doesn't matter if they're on the set, just sprinkle them in. I don't want any sticks. Just a couple leaves spread around places to help guide his foot, just like that. Again, remember where your pan's at. You want him to put his foot in here. So anything you've got around here is going to deter him from coming in this side. He's going to take the path of least resistance when he comes into the set. He'll come in from this direction or this direction, stick his nose in that hole and put his foot right in that pan, and we'll get a good front leg catch. Now the last thing I'll do is I'll take some fox urine and just squirt the back of the set with it. Like something else has already been in here and worked in this area, buried some bait in there. That's why this fresh dirt's here. Coyote's gonna see that and he's gonna be like, hey, something's in there and I'm gonna make it mine. And he's gonna dig it up and take it somewhere else. And that's when we're gonna trap him. Okay, so you can see this is a real simple setup. Don't make things any more complicated than they have to be. You got a trail coming out of the woods here. You got a wood line right here with a creek coming down, and then we've got behind my four-wheeler another wood line. So you've got several ways that this animal can come into this set, and this is a good productive area, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Keep it simple, keep it open, let him work the set. Don't try to funnel him too much or you'll spook him off.